And a very warm welcome back to you to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose Day 2. We're into our group stages right now and exactly halfway through the group stages, so it's as good a time as any to check in with the brackets and show you exactly what's happened so far in Groups A and Group B. Rodam, your thoughts so far on Group A?
Group A went, you could say, as expected, even though I really think that Snoot had a very good chance against True, and I kind of thought he was going to take that series, but I also think it's so likely that they will meet up again. Nothing is set in stone, of course, but, you know, I think Rain is going to beat True. Of course I do, because I'm a Rain fanboy. And Snoot versus Hawk, I think Snoot is a clear favorite in that series. I don't think Hawk is super excited about going up to Snoot either. It is possible, though, because Hawk has pretty okay PvZ. It's kind of hit or miss with his PvZ, but if things go well for him, if he's able to sell whatever he's going for convincingly and he's able to trick his opponents, it often turns out well. So nothing is set in stone, but I do think they will play again. Okay. And then, of course, we had Group B.
Yeah, Group B. First going down after winning the opening game to Revival, and he'll now play his teammate in San Jose on the stage, as we may have predicted as well. I think that was sort of predicted. I think some people were saying, well, actually, First looked much better in that. He was the top-ranked player in that, you know, the seed in that group as well. So arguably, he may have gone through, but that was always a tricky game to predict, wasn't it?
Yeah, but his PvZ did look pretty good at DreamHack, so I think it's a minor upset, especially because it's been a little bit quiet around Revival over the last few months. He didn't have any good WCS America runs since Season 1, all the way back when we were in Cologne, so a little bit of an upset, I would say, and it's cool to see Revival go up against Polt, because they also played against each other in that tournament. I wasn't sure about it before, but pretty damn sure about it now, so I think that's very cool. And for Jaedong, it's starting to look pretty rough, because I still believe that First has very good PvZ, even though that Overgrowth game against Revival was nowhere near what he should be doing, but it's not looking great for Jaedong, but it's still possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it might have been easier for him if it had ended up being a ZvT in the next round, but nevertheless, you've got to beat them all if you're going to get to the final and win the whole thing. So he's got to step up his game when we head off to San Jose on Saturday morning. We're going to focus on Group C now. It's the opening game of this group, and it's no better time to be a Terran than if your name's ForGG right now. 6.5 years he waited to win a tournament. Finally in StarCraft, all StarCraft 1, Brewboard, StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm. 6.5 years from MSL Arena all the way through to DreamHack Winter, and talk about turn it on at the right time as well.
Yeah, no, that was a big one.
I mean, fantastic victory, and he was terrific for the whole weekend. It wasn't like he just had a couple of lucky games or he got a good draw or anything like that. He was devastatingly good, and he goes up against our sort of hero from yesterday, a man that battled his way through a very tough open bracket, which is Symbol, and we'll see Gumiho versus Hyun after that game. So focus on this one, ForGG. Just I mean, we know what it's like sometimes when a player takes a while to break out, and you always kind of expect him to, and he has that opportunity to, he has the skill, he has the builds, he plays the right race at the right time, whatever it is, we know that he has the opportunity to win tournaments. And then when they win one, something clicks. Something happens to that player. Do you think that's going to happen to ForGG?
Yeah, I definitely think he's feeling great. It's so funny what an influence it has as well. Because like he walks into the studio and I hear it like from 8 different people. Hey, congratulations on DreamHack. Like it must feel so good. It just you walk into the building, you're like, yeah, that's right, I'm a champ, and everybody knows I'm a champ. You know, I was like, hey, congratulations. And 2 seconds later, I see Hearthstone, congratulations on DreamHack, and he didn't even hear me, and I heard someone else. I was like, man, he must be feeling like he's on top of the world right now. And it's cool as well because he was very happy that he could stay longer in Europe, that he could still compete in WCS Europe, and to just immediately follow up with that. Like, I definitely think, like they often say, the monkey's off his shoulder, and he's going to play some great StarCraft here. But, you know, it could also be, it just depends how you look at it, but in a weird way you could also say maybe it's some extra pressure now because he is a champ and people expect him to play like a champ.
Absolutely. Symbol, as I mentioned before, as we've got Deadwing and Foxtrot in there.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, in a TVZ as well, no less.
Yeah, I am shocked that Symbol is eager to play on Foxtrot, especially if they spawn top left, bottom right. Like I think it's going to be very tricky for him. We saw MMA win that map against Live in BlizzCon. We saw ForGG win the deciding game against Live on DreamHack. That is not a map that I would like to play against ForGG on. Even though ForGG used a really unique build in that final game. There's not too many times you can bust out that build, but yeah, that's surprising.
TVZ is always a lot of fun, isn't it? I mean, we've been saying for a number of months, or it seems like years, and it probably is years now, that this is one of those matchups that almost everyone loves. Protoss players love them to watch them, and Terrans love playing in them. The Zergs love playing them. What is it about TVZ that's so fun?
It's because it reaches that stabilizing point in the game very, very often. There are not too many opportunities to bust out crazy cheeses early on, especially not with our current map pool. Like Merry-Go-Round is still a map where you see sometimes a crazy Zerg opening, Roach Bane all in, Roach circling, you name it, it's possible. But in general, it's a matchup that very, very often stabilizes. Like, all right, the Zerg is on 3 bases, the Terran is going to be on 3 bases soon, the Zerg is going to go up to 4 bases, let's battle. And that's just what's fun, you know, because in PvP, even though I really enjoy all the mind games and all the trickery in it, games are often very short. You see very often 8-9 minute games, sometimes even build orders. In this matchup, it reaches that stable point where it's like, all right, from this point on, there's no such thing as a timing attack anymore. It's like, no, it's about engagement. It's about outplaying your opponent.
It's about fighting. Yeah, that's what it's about.
And I think that's why people like it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Okay. Just very quickly, would it be foolish to bet against ForGG in the kind of form that he's in right now? Or do you think Symbol still has a chance in this, what he showed us yesterday?
I mean, we shouldn't forget that Symbol was for the longest amount of time a super stable Zerg in GSO Code S. I don't know how many seasons it was in a row that he always made quarterfinals, but he was like what Tasia was before Tasia started traveling crazy amounts and didn't really compete anymore. Like Symbol was solid. Like he was just there. He was a very consistent performer over time. So let's not pretend that Symbol is this Zerg player that, yeah, sometimes he won a few series, but overall he's not. No, you know, he's done it and he has shown, and people have prepared for his style. There were a lot of VODs out, and he was still very good. He had success in the arenas back then. Once upon a time, Symbol was one of the most hyped Zerg in the world. I don't think he's the most hyped Zerg in the world right now, but no, if I miss these games and I would see Symbol 2-1 4G, I'd be like, okay, like
seems reasonable.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, my jaw wouldn't drop open like, wow, did ForGG really lose against Symbols? Like, no.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. Let's head over to the commentary desk to find out their thoughts and bring you all the coverage from the first game in Group C.
It's time to see if our most recent champion in StarCraft 2 is able to continue that trend going, as we already saw a lot of his TVZ at the previous DreamHack Winter win, but now we get to see if that can carry on. Do you think he's going to be bringing similar styles here to this tournament? Because it looked really, really good at the previous tournament.
Surely he didn't fall out of shape within a week.
No, probably not.
After DreamHack. You know, I don't think this was a very expected result by too many people. The way he played and the way he won that tournament, just so convincingly, like right from the start, his first few games, started playing very well right away. He's been getting a little bit cheeky here and there in the interviews, and now gonna give us a wave here. Yeah, ForGG has impressed me so much. In a lot of his games, he's just playing the same as before, sort of, but a lot better overall. You know, much more solid macro and all that, and especially in terms of timings, he got really good. There used to be a time where we're kind of, I guess, just macro. That's it. Yeah. Nothing else. Not that much micro. He was kind of lost in terms of timing, so he was just freestyling it. Sometimes it went well, sometimes it went badly. Nowadays, it seems like he's on point with so many things, and it just works for him.
Well, we're going to begin the first game in just a little bit here. It is Merry-Go-Round, as we will be seeing if ForGG can continue on with how we saw him play against Live for the most part during that tournament. He obviously flew through the group stages, and then those two big wins against the world champion Live were really the standout performance from ForGG. But his opponent, spawning over on the left-hand side, is our blue Zerg. It is Symbol, representing Jin Air Green Wings as of late, and looking good yesterday through the open brackets. And then on our right, we have our red Terran, the current, most recent StarCraft 2 champion. It is ForGG, representing Millennium, and showing us that in this matchup, he can be a true force to be reckoned with, as Mr. Rotterdam would say.
But back to the qualifier for this very tournament, actually the European qualifier, because yes, ForGG is European. He beat Snoot and Saxry in it, so already showing some good things against Zerg, even though he had lost to Saxry originally early on in the winner bracket. He made it in the lower bracket and qualified, so that was already nice. But then at DreamHack is really where he did shine the most versus Zerg, beating Solar and then beating Live twice. Yep. The most recent BlizzCon champion, that doesn't really get any better than that. And you know, the way he did it, as I mentioned, very impressive. Lots of Banshees. He was playing against a Live that did say that he didn't think he could lose to Bio, but then ForGG kind of felt like his pride was hurt, and he was like, "You think you can't lose to Bio? All right, let's see that." He used Bio and won. And now it looks like he's going to mix it up a little bit more with A2 racks on the merry-go-round.
And this is lining up, I was about to say, I was expecting ForGG to maybe do something like this at least once in the series, but Symbol's got kind of lucky in the way his first Overlord is going, because he'll see something, he'll see the top of the ramp eventually, and then notice a little bit quicker than normal that it's going to be a 2 racks opener. So at least that's a small boon for Symbol, even though he's gone hatch first.
I think ForGG is somebody who plays very well to his image. Like, he knows that he's just
so greedy.
Extractor before the
2 drones as well during all of this.
ForGG knows that his image is this image of a guy that's just super solid, that will macro almost every single time. And now he's up against a Symbol who probably thinks he's the huge underdog here against, you know, a Terran player on form. So he says, you know what, he's probably going to try to do something like play greedy early on to try and gain an edge, gamble a little bit. And if I do a 2 racks, I could do very well against something like that. And now there is a very good chance he's going to do well.
I think during that little poking by the Overlord didn't reveal its position. So the SCV also went all the way down to the bottom right, whilst having to now go up to the top and then start this bunker pressure on. Of course, there is a second SCV here that is seeing this. It is pushing forwards with that first bunker, and a lot of drones have been pulled off the line. That bunker is quite far back, and obviously this low ground does allow these Marines to get a few shots off.
I really like the reaction by Symbol here, actually. He pulls so many drones except just 4 that he has back at home. He's already quite a bit of money, so he's going to be able to start Queens, Zerglings as well. He stopped mining gas for now. ForGG needs to be patient with this.
First spine already on the way. Second bunker is going to be leapfrogged forward from the initial one that, well, technically the first one got cancelled, but nice round on one of those Marines to actually kill that off. But he's lost a lot of drones during that. He has to be careful. Doesn't want to be losing too many during this.
Or not. I guess he doesn't have to be patient. I guess that's why I'm Protoss. He just gets in there, kill a lot of units. But there is now so many Zerglings. The first bunker will finish, actually both of them will finish very, very soon here. Did he just target his own SCV for a second?
I am not sure, but the extra SCVs that he brought along with this are really, really helping out. Now this is in range of the Spine Crawler. That's going to fall very quick. He needs to uproot that and get it out of there at this point. The Lings are trying to get some reinforcing Marines, but they don't even get those from going into the second bunker, and he lets the Spine Crawler die off during this as well. At least these Lings can try and intercept some of the reinforcements, but even ForGG knows that, so he's saving them up next to the barracks.
Yeah, he's going to be up to 4 Marines here with... actually, he's supply blocked right now. He cannot start a 5th and 6th Marines down on the map here.
Oh, great micro. GG. Game number 1 goes to ForGG in the end. Symbol lost way too much during all of that. And once again, a Korean 2 racks is able to dispatch a Zerg very convincingly.
I really like the amount of drones that were pulled here from Symbol, but since he had already gone for an extractor, he felt basically compelled to go and mine gas. And then midway through this, he realized that, well, it's just not going to work out. So he pulled walkers off the gas, and you can see actually right now he has 48 gas, which he doesn't need, nor that extractor. So he's losing a lot of money. He's going to start a spine, get some links, but ForGG's micro, you know, he gets away with the SCV, just cancels the bunker on time, and then he has enough Marines now to deal with all of those drones, even though there is Zerglings on the way.
All in all, it's a very greedy opener from Symbol on the other side of things. When ForGG is the kind of guy, of course, you were saying, you know, he's working to his image with the kind of transitions that he likes to go for, likes to go into a long mech game, etc. But we have seen ForGG execute these really strong 2 racks plays that have just kept him forwards. And has he dyed his hair?
Yes, Wolf, he has.
Wow. Well, there you go. I guess that's what $30,000 dollars or whatever it allows you to do.
You know, ForGG, actually, the one time I played him in the WCS, in the round of 32 group stage, I studied his replay so much, and on Belcher Vestige, he was always opening 1 racks, no gas command center. So I was like, hey, Proxy is pretty good against that if he doesn't scout early on. I went for Proxy, and he went for wall off at his ramp plus gas. So I basically lost instantly, or at least I was at a huge disadvantage. Yeah. And then later on I lost, and I ended up asking him, why did you do that? And he's like, well, I didn't think you could really beat me in a real game, like in a longer game, so I was pretty sure you would cheese. And this might have been a similar thought here that he had against a Symbol who he probably thinks would not beat him unless he did something either very greedy or very cheesy. Up against which I guess the 2 racks can do well, at least versus greedy. Against cheesy, I'm not sure. Depends on the pull timing and all that. You can't. I feel like it's very hard to rush a turn unless you're convinced he's gonna do CC first. But ForGG is not. I was gonna say stupid. Maybe it's a way too aggressive word. He's not naive enough to go for a CC first.
No, you're right. And the thing is that, again, ForGG can just mix it up time and time again. If he wants to, on this next map, he can happily just go into that mech style that we saw so much success with him have in the DreamHack. The interesting thing about watching his mech play out is that he does continue to incorporate Banshees, and watching DreamHack from home and really enjoying those games as a whole, it really reminded me of something that MVP did back in 2012, which was a mech style with incorporated a lot of Banshees, and even Moonglade brought it up during the cast, which was sometimes you even saw Zerg trying to mix in Corruptors to try and deal with that, but nobody really had an answer during DreamHack, or at least Live didn't have an answer. But anyway, let's get into game number 2, as we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, currently 1 game up. It is the DreamHack champion. It is ForGG. Looking good in game number 1, dispatching of Symbol rather fast with that 2 racks play. And then down to the bottom right-hand corner, cross positions here on Deadwing. It is our blue Zerg. It is Symbol for Jinna Green Wings. And can't be too happy about that one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely was hoping to have to face something different here with the build that he went for. Kind of got unfortunate, but you know, that's how it goes. Sometimes you kind of have to roll the dice. And actually, speaking of which,
oh jeez,
pull 8. So he's hoping for a CC first here on Deadwing.
Yeah. Again, it's almost like playing to the image of ForGG, because ForGG is normally the kind of guy that if he does want to open up with one extreme, he will then flip straight to another. And Deadwing really also kind of helps out that idea. So there is potential here that ForGG just goes straight to racks. I mean, that SCV, sorry, wasn't sticking around to throw down the barracks.
Yeah, I think he's going to be CC first too.
Yeah, so it kind of validates the idea of what we were just talking about.
Do you think he also did that because he's basically saying, well, if you go for 2 racks, I'm going to have some links out on the map? Is pull 8 actually good against 2 racks, you think?
I mean, it can shut it down really fast, especially if you're able to find it. I mean, the drone scout.
On Deadwing?
It's going to take a while, of course.
Needle in a haystack, man. I know you wanted to be a paleontologist when you were young, but still. There's no dinosaur bones on this map to be found.
No, I guess not. Poor Deadwing. Actually, I think there is on Deadwing now that you say that, but I'll have to go and find them later on at some point. Anyway, this drone's getting confirmation of what he wanted to see, basically.
Isn't that a big tell, though? Sending the drone like that, isn't that gonna ring some alarm in ForGG's head?
I guess he
Who
might
went
be...
for a refinery, by the way, before barracks.
Jeez. I guess he might be...
Surely this is game. How do you hold here?
It's difficult. We have seen people do it before. You fly around and start making barracks elsewhere and then start eventually getting Marines out.
What's happening today? Is Stardust coaching all of these guys? Or like...
Oh, poor Stardust. He always bears the brunt of the cheese stick. Well... The Zerglings are going to head into the natural and have a look around. I mean, even just one Zergling on the SCV to deny, but he wants to really try and get up here. Getting that on top of this supply depot that cannot be built, or sorry, repaired, is the most important aspect.
Yeah. Symbol is forgetting to make an overload right now, by the way. I guess he wants to start a second hatch here, maybe, but for now he's just going to make Zerglings. Actually, SCV fighting against Zerglings here. They're going to have to pull back for now, trying to get against on the barracks. He's putting a lot more boys here.
Yeah, he kind of has to. He really needs that barracks to finish, and if the Zerglings are always there, he actually cancelled the command center, realizing that he's just not going to have the opportunity to have that row go up.
Look at that drone.
I wonder if the drone has any kills.
What a boss.
No, not yet. Will he get one during all of this? He's lost so many SCVs. Did the drone get the kill? I can't even see. We have the little camera in the way.
A single kill so
far.
far.
Yes, he got a kill. Brilliant.
Still one. Trying to run away now.
17 workers gone down during this.
So 4 SCVs against 9 drones right now, plus a second hatch on the way here for Symbol, who could start a queen. He's got a little bit of money, you know?
Yeah.
Might not have that many drones, but they sure got to work. Got to cancel on the CC as well. ForGG now even cancelling that one building he had started above his barracks to get some money. What was that, a bunker? So Symbol is actually just going to get right back in there. Take this opportunity, and with one single Marine out and a second one on the way. And the drone is very angry.
The drone.
Actually cancels the extract, so he's back.
Oh, he actually focused that down overall, but yeah, a little bit extra firepower. GG! A series that I expected to be absolutely amazing has turned out so far to be quite anticlimactic, so I'm hoping game number 3 can prove to be a little bit longer, but overall, I really like the decision there from Symbol.
Yeah.
Based on what I was saying before, ForGG is a man of extremes. We see the 2 racks on a map like Deadwing. Brilliant map for him to try and go for a CC first. Symbol understood that and was able to exploit it fully.
So apparently whoever cheeses wins, guys. So I think on Foxtrot we're probably going to have double racks against Bull 8 and
Doesn't that
Clash
mean
of the Titans, and the drone is going to be back.
the drone, that
resurrected.
Drone. I love that he cancelled the extractors to try and have the drone get a few more hits in there and just tank up some damage.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick. But yeah, a really good play there by Symbol, considering the situation, considering the map, etc. And then
it's so funny how I said ForGG is not naive enough to go for CC first.
I'm sorry,
and then
man.
he did. He's up against someone that he knows. Obviously, that he's going to have a really tough time against his opponent, so obviously he's going to be the one trying for stuff. The best course of option here is to play it safe. The thing is, if you play it safe and you're wrong just in one of the game and your opponent plays greedy, then you're behind, and then that's trouble. So I guess he didn't want that to happen. Went for CC first thinking he was safe, and in the end he wasn't. Because nobody's safe against a Bull 8, Kailaris. Especially not Protosses that go Nexus first. And especially not when their name is Roddy.
All right. That kind of got a little bit off track for a second. I'm looking at it, I was like, this is getting personal. All right, Foxtrot Labs is going to be map number 3 to find out who is moving on into the winners match to play against Polt later on at the San Jose main tournament. As we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, it's our red Terran. It is ForGG, our current DreamHack champion, and not really getting the better end of the stick in the second game. I think he'll take a bit more of a middle-of-the-road approach here. And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, it's our blue Zerg. It is Symbol, representing Jin Green Wings. And again, gotta say, playing that second map out very well, considering his opponent.
Yeah. You'll be happy to hear he's already on 9 drones.
Oh,
so
great.
We're going to have a very, very quick pull here by him. ForGG, does he play the mind game of basically saying, you went for Bull 8, I went for CC first, you're not going to think I'm going to do it again, and then he does it here on Foxtrot. Foxtrot is a map where there is a lot of space around the natural that makes it easier to attack it. I know that applies a lot in ZvP. Not sure it does nearly as much versus Terran, or at least in terms of unit composition. But Symbol is definitely one of those guys that is not afraid to throw in a lot of all-ins to his play.
Yeah.
Actually, I talked about this yesterday. He did beat Top very quickly, and I didn't see those games. And when I came backstage, I asked him what had happened, and he just told me, well, Zergling Baneling.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Well, it's a good point that you actually bring up, because all in all, on a map like this, especially in these spawning locations, because you do not have a ramp to be able to protect something like that, like Ling, Roach, Bane all in can still be really good, because a wall in takes quite long because the choke is so wide, and as I said before, there is no ramp to be able to really kind of fend off that position as easy as you would like. But Symbol opening up spawning pool first, so a little bit cautious in his opener here.
He's playing safe against the guy that's playing greedy, so, well, I'm not going to go as far saying he's going to fall behind, but it's kind of like that, actually, because ForGG goes for the CC first again, and just like in the previous game, he gets a refinery behind this, and he's soon going to be starting a barracks.
Yeah. It's nice to see ForGG call his opponent's bluff across these 3 games, and that's kind of how the flow of the series has gone, with him having the upper hand from game number 1. If it had been the reversal of Symbol having the upper hand from game 1, then maybe it wouldn't have played out like that, but ForGG really does take advantage of this situation and is just continuing on with a normal build.
He's playing the mind games very well, obviously. Symbol doing his best as well, but surely he's going to be a minimum disappointed when he figures out what's up here.
At least the Overlord's seen it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And aside from that, not too much really else going on. Just droning, making sure that he's up and running. Those 2 Lings are kind of annoying.
I wonder if Symbol is already thinking about the fact, and if he has identified properly, that in a previous game it was command center, refinery, and then barracks. Because if he did, now he's seen a command center first. He's probably thinking, well, he's going to do the same, and he's going to start that quick factory that ForGG is starting now.
That's a good
in which
point.
case, you can start already adjusting your play, knowing that there's going to be, Hellions out very quickly, possibly Banshees. So we'll see how he adjusts. On this map, we talked about how much room there is around the natural. If Symbol, he just started speed. If he did a lot of Zerglings, but not too many either, because he still needs to drone up, went for some harassment, he could do well. And look, second refinery, just finishing here for ForGG. Is this Banshee Cloak 100%?
It could be. I mean, there's alternate routes that he could go down. I mean,
Okay, 1% Blue Flame Hellion.
Yeah, there is that one, which there is the potential of. I mean, we've seen ForGG throwing down extra factories in the back and then trying to hide that, especially on a map like this, again, where the natural choke is very, very wide. But in the end, it's probably just going to be Banshee. It's something that he does like a lot.
Those links are going to do a very good job of running around up until the few units here. The Hellions will come out of the factory and finally kill him. Actually, if he had some right outside the natural now, that would have been even more annoying, because no mining could happen at the natural. But Symbol, he's still droning up like a madman. He's making sure he doesn't get supply blocked.
Yeah, and the thing is that speed's about to finish as well, so it's up to these two Hellions in just a second to be able to clean this up. And especially if they weren't actually here and on the way, those two Lings, if they'd have had speed in the base, would have been ultra annoying.
How would you rate Foxtrot as a mech map?
As a mech map?
Yeah. Because I'm feeling mech. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling mech here.
The thing is that the choke points in the middle are really it's really confined in the middle. So if you're taking engagements with mech down that path, then sure, you can happily...
Taking an engagement with mech?
Well, okay,
I don't think
so
we saw the same games, man.
if it occurs, then great. But there is the potential. Roach Warren on the way with the layer as well. I still like the idea of him being quite aggressive himself.
This might be a great incentive for Symbol to go into Roaches, by the way.
It may
when
be.
you play against mech, you either do that Swarmos Muta style, or you do Roaches, lots of Roaches, maybe even Roach Drop, that old school style, which Zerg's kind of got away from.
The only thing you got to be really careful though against ForGG is the fact that Banshees will be a factor, prolonged Banshee production will be a factor, but Banshees at the very beginning of things, really, there's a Nidus Worm on the way.
Oh god.
There's a Nidus Worm.
That's what
All right then, let's see that Overlord on the left-hand side of the main base.
That's what I was talking about. Symbol knows that up against ForGG he can't play normal. Even Live couldn't beat this guy straight up. So why would he even try? He just throws down a Nidus, he's going to do a ton of Roaches.
And the thing is at the front, so if for some reason these Hellions tried to penetrate this defense and actually got in just a little further, he saw it, that was...
ForGG has been so greedy, by the way. He went for Banshee Cloak, and behind this, Armory plus Engineering Bay. No additional production facilities. He's literally producing units out of a single starport and factory right now. And even his factory is not doing anything here
Nidus
for
at
a
the
moment.
Front. Oh geez, Nidus at the front, okay. He had a lot of Lings in production just before. There's 10 Roaches about to pop as well. And all of this is just going to, well, the Hellbats are morphing in. But that's actually bad for him. That's actually bad considering, because he needs to get back there fast. And those Hellbats now, they need to transform. They need to get back there. He needs defense at this point.
And Queens plus Roaches is going to be the choice for Symbol here, who's taking his sweet time. He could literally get in there, start killing SCVs. SCVs, what? Oh, he's going to go for the SCVs plus the Hellbats from the other side, but that means they are not particularly repairing each other. Like, he's just using them as attack here.
There are a few transfuses down to the Roaches, keeping those live. More Lings are going to flood forward. They didn't need to be in the Nidus Worm. Roaches pop out once again, and he's going to lose a lot of Hellions here. Symbol, wow, bringing out this strat so fast in this game.
He killed all the Queens, though.
He didn't even let him get to the point.
He killed all the Queens, so if he has some Banshees, he will do great, but he has only the one Banshee because he went for double Viking behind this.
Oh, he got rid of the high ground vision as well, so that tank is very, very important, but there's another Nidus Worm in the main base that is going to be able to threaten. Banshee comes back, has to be there, has to be able to try and shut down these units. It needs a lot of cost efficiency here, whilst extra Roaches are in the main base, killing off some workers probably very soon.
Symbol needs to remake Queens and needs to Nidus them across the map. He might not even need to do that. And that Armory, man, that was pure greed. I can't believe he actually went for an Armory like he just to start +1. That was so greedy.
Well, no, it's for the Hellbats as well, right? To try and actually get that frontal push going a little bit stronger during it. But
you know, I'm no Terran versus Zerg expert, but that sounds like a Protoss going Colossus plus Templar and going double Forge at the same time on two bases.
It's normally legit if they're stuck in their base, but with a Nidus Worm in the mix, that really shakes things up, makes it very difficult. The Roaches in the main base going to bring down a siege tank. ForGG is doing his best to try and stay in this, but he's taking significant damage here.
Is he going to have to be lifted off here?
He's just going to keep losing unit after unit, and the workers have to come off the line as well. ForGG is in desperation mode at this point. He may be able to clean this up and stabilize, but it's going to be stabilizing on very few workers.
He's in desperation mode against the desperation build of Symbol, yes.
Basically, he just didn't want to let it get to the point where ForGG felt very comfortable with his mech. And it's a great play here by Symbol, making sure that he can adapt to an opponent who would have really kind of brought him a very hard game later on.
ForGG is down to 16 SCVs now against 48 drones. Is it time for MVP against Steffel?
Is it time? I don't think it is. I don't think that's ever going to happen again.
Yeah.
But, well, maybe one day. The Banshees, I mean, Banshees are pretty good, but the Spire's about to finish, and then when that does, and he has a little bit of gas bank up, he can make a few mutas and just kill these things off. So, for now, though, ForGG has survived.
Yeah, he survived. I thought this was going to be over no matter what, but Symbol took it maybe a little, he kind of slowed down. He went into a Spire, made some drones. So the mutas here, they're going to be a little bit of a surprise. Unless, I don't think he's going to be able to see them. There's 2 Vikings, but I mean 6 mutas should kill them pretty easily. But there is an eBay up. That was never sniped. So if ForGG manages to get a few turrets, this could buy him some time to basically just remake a good Walker count and maybe stabilize in this game. The thing is, if those Banshees are caught across the map, they're going to die, and I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And losing those Banshees is going to be the biggest of deals here.
Yeah, it is, and that's exactly what this was all designed for. Symbol knew the follow-up, the potential route for ForGG to get back into this game, going for the Spire, getting these Mutalisks out. Vikings have nothing to answer for this as well, and just tracking that last Banshee.
Even the turrets are being delayed a lot here by ForGG, by the way. He doesn't start any.
There you go, GG, well played.
Maybe that's why.
Symbol is able to advance on 2-1 against our recent StarCraft 2 champion. And really, again, I've got to say, as a series as a whole, really well played by Symbol to from game 1 to then choose his strategy in game 2 and then into game 3. Bring out something with a little bit more spice, a little bit more flavor to make sure ForGG couldn't get to his comfort zone.
You know what's funny? Yesterday we talked about how Symbol is like this roach guy and stuff. And today he brought the roaches, used them well and won with them. And he's in the same group as Hyun. So
that's true.
He could actually face Hyun. Later on Hyun will play against Gumiho, and then the winner of that match will play against Symbol. And yeah, I think it's cool to see all these guys, you know, that have been around forever, just do well and then meet each other in tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of Symbol, you think of someone who was playing in GSLs long time ago.
He's a GSL runner-up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nice to see him doing well, especially against someone as formidable as ForGG. ForGG in that series, I feel, did get a little bit exploited, and we didn't see the full game plan, the full potential of a player like ForGG. But he's still alive in this group, so he's not down and out yet.
Not quite the long mech games I was expecting. I know we could have seen maybe some Swarmhost as well against mech. I know Red Eye's a big fan.
Oh,
I've been
truly.
cheering on them winning the game.
Truly, Red Eye is actually one of the biggest fans of Swarmhost. And speaking of Red Eye, we can head over to him with our winner, Mr. Symbol.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, gents. Thank you very much, by the way, Kalaris and Todd there on the commentary. Congratulations, Symbol. Really tough match against ForGG. He's just come off the back of winning DreamHack. So when you look at that and you think, oh, God, is that a terrible draw against a Terran as well? And I know you didn't want to play a Terran. So tell me how you won. How did you overcome those odds of playing the latest champion and a Terran as well?
일단 어제 이해하셨어요, 혹시? 어제 테란이랑 하기 싫다 이렇게 하셨잖아요. 그리고 또 최근에 박지수 선수가 우승도 했고 그래서 약간 좀 무서운 상대인데 그런 무서운 상대 앞두고 어떻게 준비를 하셨나요?
일단은 어제 테란이랑 하기 싫다고 했는데 그거는 진짜고요. 지금도 하기 싫은데 일단 결정됐으니까 그래도 이길 수 있게 좀 노력했던 부분이고 일단은 지수 형이 드림에게서 경기를 했잖아요, 이승현 선수랑. 그래서 그거 보고 나서 약간 지수 형 카운터 빌드를 좀 많이 짜가지고 그래도 좀 그게 먹혀가지고 좀 쉽게 이긴 것 같아요.
So Symbol says, what I said yesterday about Terrans still stands. I don't want to play them, and I will continue to not want to play them, and I'm still scared of them. But that being said, I can't change what fate brings to me, and I knew I had to play ForGG. I can't dodge that. But he played life in the finals of DreamHack, and fortunately enough, I was able to watch those VODs and see exactly how he plays in that matchup. And I think I was able to beat him here because I prepared my build specifically to counter his style. So I was very, very careful and meticulous about that, and I think that worked very, very well.
It certainly did work very well. Talk to us about Game 3 with the all-in. Were you a little bit worried that maybe he'd countered you and maybe figured that was coming and you were maybe a bit worried? Because at one point it looked like he might actually hold and then survive.
일단 그 세 번째 경기에서 올인을 했잖아요. 그래서 혹시 걱정은 안 되셨나요? 왜냐면 약간 우리가 보는 입장에서는 좀 어떻게 될지 몰랐는데 게임을 직접 하면서 걱정하셨나요?
일단은 그 지수형 경기 보면서 많이 생각을 했는데 이제 그렇게 빠른 벤시 빌드를 하면은 저렇게 저거가 빠른 레어에서 땅굴 바퀴 퀸을 가면 좀 막기 힘들어요. 그래서 막히더라도 제가 좀 유리한 입장이라고 생각했기 때문에 준비한 대로 했기 때문에 별로 불안하거나 그런 건 없었어요.
So he says, I wasn't worried because after looking at his style, and he always goes for these really quick banshees, and I thought if I just go for a very quick layer and go for this Roach Queen Nidus all-in, I just knew that it would be an advantageous situation for me regardless, and that's why even though I don't know how it looked to you guys, but I was actually pretty comfortable because I knew it would work well against him.
Okay, moving on. You now have to play either a Terran again or another Zerg. So I would imagine you'd quite fancy taking a crack at Hyun in a Roach versus Roach game, or do you not care?
일단 이제 다음 상대는 테란 아니면 저그인데 그 저그 선수가 고성현 선수예요. 그래서 그 저그전을 더 원하세요? 고성현 선수와 더 만나고 싶으세요? 아니면 어떻게?
일단은 일단 테란이랑 하기 싫고요. 일단은 석현 형이랑 같은 팀에서도 생활하고 안지 오래도 되고 제가 좋아하는 형인데 이렇게 대회에서 큰 무대에서 만나본 적이 없어요 아직. 그래서 이 기회에 어차피 하기도 싫고 테란이랑 석현 형이랑 좀 게임도 해보고 하면 좋을 것 같아요 저거전.
So of course he starts his answer by saying, "I don't like Terran." In case you guys forgot
I
in
think
the
we might
last
have
5
got
minutes.
that now, yeah.
So he prefaced it by saying that, and then he said, "I've known Hyun for a long, long time now. I've lived with him before. He's a very, very close older brother-like type figure to me, but I've never played him at a tournament like this before. So I think, given this opportunity, since I really don't want to play a Terran, I would really much prefer to play Hyun. I think it'd be a really fun game, fun opportunity, since I haven't played him in this type of setting before."
Sounds fun to me as well. Good luck, Symbol, in your next game. It will be in San Jose in a big arena in front of a large crowd, so hope you enjoy it. Okay, we are headed for another break. Before we get there, though, don't forget, we announced earlier on today a little bit of news which I know has gripped a few of you, and a lot of people have said this is actually a really nice thing. It's actually a little bit of crowdfunding for StarCraft 2. Now, the way you can get involved is by going to newegg.com/IEM, and if you're in the hunt for a bit of hardware, head over to that page right now because there are some discounted items of hardware that you can purchase. Now, by purchasing them, also, a cut of that money will go into the prize fund for the World Championship in Katowice in March 2015. So just to be clarifying that, it's for the World Championship, not for San Jose. So don't worry about, if you want to do it next week, that's fine too. We'd have no problem with that. But only go and do it if you're in, if you're in the hunt for some hardware. It's a very good deal, and it helps save esports. And who doesn't want to do that? Right, we are headed to a break. When we come back, though, the remaining game in Group C will be up and running. It'll be another TVZ.